We are a curated platform for short-term rentals. So our slogan is Hotel Meets Home. We're basically bringing the service and quality control of hotels into the whole world of home rental and home sharing.
So give me an example in layman's terms of how that works and what happens.
Yep. So basically, you come to our site, you browse listings of apartments as you might on, a HomeAway or an Airbnb. But every single one of those properties has been personally vetted by a member of our staff. When you book, you're booking through us, not with an individual property owner. So it's not a peer-to-peer situation. We are the sort of hospitality professionals that you're dealing with, and then our team is also meeting you at the property, providing concierge service, making sure everything's okay. So it's really a full service, hospitality driven take on home rental, which historically has not been hospitality driven. It's kind of a wild west of peer-to-peer platforms.
So from your presentation today, what I took from it was, I suppose, the concierge element of what you do. Will you talk us through how that works?
Sure, yeah. So every city where we operate, we have a team, sometimes only one person, and maybe as many as 5, of what we call guest experience specialists. These are, locals that really know the city. That's part of the hiring criteria. They really know the city. They are great service professionals, and those are the folks that not only greet you at the property, make sure everything's okay, but also can direct you to local activities, whether it's something simple like booking a restaurant, or whether it's, you want to get out of town for an hour, a day and a half, and do a wine tour or whatnot. So they're really experts, and they're really sort of being proactive about offering service. They're not just sitting back and waiting for you to reach out to them as a hotel concierge might.
So in the digital space, there's a lot of people doing that element of the travel experience, but something that I noted was the fact that you mentioned, we can get you into a club, we can kind of get you access to things that you may not get access to otherwise. And to me, that stood out as a USP in terms of the offering that you have.
Yep, for sure. And I think, couple things are unique. One is that we are doing the full spectrum, right? Yes, you can go to people for tours, you can go to people for apartment bookings, then you go to someone else for, X, Y, or Z, but we're really bringing it all together and owning the entire experience, which I think from the guest perspective is interesting because you're just dealing with one company and you're dealing with that same company in many cities around the world, which is great. In terms of the concierge focus itself and the ability to get into places, yes. I mean, because we are a pretty curated, sort of higher end focused platform, businesses are quite interested to work with us because they like the clientele that we're bringing. So we're able to go to a very exclusive private members club in London and say, hey, will you partner with us to give our clients access? And they say yes.
So you were on stage, I mentioned earlier, at the Travel Innovation Summit. Very good presentation.
Thanks.
How did you think you got on with the dragons?
I thought it was good. Yeah, I thought they weren't too tough. Certainly asked some probing questions, but I thought they were good questions and fair. So wasn't too dragonish.
It wasn't too dragonish. And then obviously, you get to chat to the dragons, but also you get to chat to your peers and colleagues who are here at the conference. How have you got on with them in terms of interest in the product?
No, I think it's been great. I mean, I like the size of the conference. It's enough people to sort of, have a variety of conversations, but it's small enough that you can kind of get around the room and get to everybody that you're interested in talking to. So yeah, for me, it's a lot of general awareness and also some specific partnerships that I'm looking to get out of it.
You spoke a lot about your product, you answered questions about the product, its distribution, etc. But what does the next year hold for you in terms of, is it funding, is it testing, is it distribution? Where are you in terms of that process?
Sure. I would say kind of geographic expansion and distribution. In terms of kind of the product itself, I think we're pretty pleased with where it is. We can always improve, but pretty pleased with the product. Recently secured a funding round from Accor Hotels of about $12.5 million. So for now, at least, we're good on cash. So it really is about scale and getting it out there into more markets. We're currently in 18 cities in the Americas and Europe. We want to be in 30 by the end of this year. So quite ambitious on that front. And then also on distribution. Yeah, some of my interesting conversations here, talking to the kayaks and Expedias and bookings of the world about getting our product just more widely distributed.
And I'll throw one more question in. So
Sure.
a lot of what we discussed is the B2C side of the distribution, but obviously you've mentioned some partners there. Is it a white label product as well? Is it more about B2B? Where do you see it long term?
B2B is certainly a big part of what we do, and whether that's through sort of distribution partners or direct to companies. We work with companies like Nike and Google for corporate housing needs, basically. So we're about 50-50 B2B, B2C. I think we'll maintain that. In terms of white label, ultimately we do want people coming to us to know that it's an Oasis property, an Oasis experience. So I'm happy to sell it through a lot of distribution channels, but ultimately people will know that it's an Oasis property and an Oasis experience, and that's important.
Excellent. Good to hear, and thanks for your time, Parker, and best of luck.
Thank you. Appreciate it.